But getting seen and getting trusted are two very different things. There's visibility and then there's authority. Visibility without authority is noise. It is just that fluffy, pointless content that we were forced to create because of the algorithm years ago. Do you guys remember when Reels hit the scene about 3 years ago? And maybe it was a bit longer than that. Maybe it was like 6 years ago. Time warp. When Reels hit the scene and it was all dancing and pointing, and if I do this and if I lip sync, and it was so performative, but it worked and it was all trendy and there was zero substance to anything anyone was saying. But if you hit the lip sync, if you hit the dance, if you did the pointing right, you'd go viral and then you'd get like tons of followers. And I just want to be so clear. There was zero substance. I look back at some of the reels that I created and they're so cringeworthy. I'm pretty sure I've removed them from my profile because they are so cringeworthy. So I just want you to keep that in your brain as I'm talking through this episode about the noise that we see on the internet, that there is so much visibility and so much noise that can go with it if you don't have these kind of foundational pieces. Now, I am really trying to have a lot of fun with the internet this year. And when I say the internet, I mean things like my Instagram stories, Instagram threads, my newsletter, like the stuff that really lights me up, because I don't love performing to an algorithm. It just feels it's not who I am. Like, I don't want the algorithm to be controlling my tone of voice. I don't want to contort my thoughts to fit a contrived plan that pleases the algorithm. I don't want to overthink everything. I don't want to, write an amazing piece of content that doesn't hit and then suddenly that's a hit to my confidence. That's just not what I want in 2026. And I am really done with kind of second guessing my really, really good content not performing, quote unquote, because that's just exhaustion. That is exhaustion. If you are contorting, if you are performing, if you are overthinking, if you're having confidence hit after confidence hit, that's exhausting. And that's just not what I want for myself. And it's not what I want for you guys. And so when I think about visibility, I'm like, how can we ensure that visibility has authority, it has substance, and it's not just a dance for the algorithm, an actual frickin' dance for the algorithm? And I mean, there are definitely visibility plays that we can have, viral quote unquote trends that get you seen. Those things totally get you seen. But getting seen and getting trusted are two very different things. I can see someone on my news feed dancing and pointing till the cows come home, and that doesn't mean I'm going to implicitly trust them with XYZ or trust them as a service provider, because the algorithm rewards engagement. It rewards people who are, someone's been engaging on this, or it meets this trend, and people engage, and that's how they get seen. But that does not by any means mean they're trusted. And I think it's really important that we differentiate between, there's visibility and then there's authority. And a visibility without authority is noise. It is just that fluffy, pointless content that we were forced to create because of the algorithm years ago. And this is a massive conversation we're having inside my mastermind at the moment, is like, how do you lead and how do you have your thoughts lead in a way where it doesn't feel contrived, where it doesn't feel like performative for the algorithm? Because if you're building around the algorithm, you're chasing trends, you likely are having to kind of remodel your opinions. You might try to be, palatable over here, or a watered down version of yourself, and then everything's just feeling even more performative. And you can't just sit down and say the damn thing, because you've got to do it in this structure, in this way, to do this result. And over time, that's going to lead to, one, exhaustion and burnout. And you're probably just going to say, screw it, I'm not doing it anymore. You're going to stop being consistent. You're going to be full of self-doubt because you're optimizing for attention. And if you're constantly in this, I need attention, I need virality, I need views, it's completely different than okay, what if I just approach this with authority and then I allow the visibility to come with it or compound after it? I am a huge, huge believer in a message that compounds. Clear positioning, owned platforms. And when I say owned platforms, I mean things like a podcast. I mean things like a blog. I mean things like a newsletter, email marketing. Those are owned platforms that we can optimize for authority and then have the compounding effect of allowing social media to play its part in the overall visibility strategy. It is so much less exhausting when you can just get on the internet, say what you think, and not have massive repercussions. And because we're shifting from this, like, I'm chasing the trend, I'm trying to appease the algorithm, you're no longer chasing or feeling like you're in this kind of noise or echo chamber where, like, I'm just putting stuff out there and nothing's coming back, because that's a lot of the feedback I'm getting on from clients right now on social media is I put stuff out there and I'm not getting anything back. But what's so interesting is when they stop performing to the algorithm and we're really focusing on like authority content, like what's in their head, their thought leadership, what are the strong opinions that they have, what are the spicy opinions that we have, and we're putting them in other places like newsletters, like blogs, and we're just putting them out to the world. There is some magic that is happening and I love it for them. And I'm seeing it for myself as well. There's so much freedom when you're not performing to the algorithm. And I know from a decade in business, I know that if we're focusing instead of being seen and we're focusing instead on being known and trusted, that comes from clear positioning. So being very clear about who you are, who you serve, and how you get them results. So very clear positioning, repetition, saying the same damn message over and over again, having opinions and putting them out there to the world, and owning your expertise and your experience. It doesn't come from volume. And if you feel like it comes from volume, you've probably been given some really terrible advice, because when, the internet generally says if you're not growing, you need to post more, show up daily, do more reels, dance point, increase your frequency. And that whole post more, let's go for quantity, that advice ignores some of the key issues that are likely really at play here, which is you probably have some wobbly positioning. You are likely feeling like you've got a diluted message. You're not getting cut through. And so if you increase the amount of posts that you're doing, your cut through is not going to improve. More noise, more post does not create clarity. But if you choose to kind of sit back into your authority and then allow that to repeat and compound, and you repeat that message over and over again, that's where we start getting real cut through and clarity. I am just such a fan of authority-led visibility because it's built differently. It's built around repetition. It's intentional. It's slower. It's clearer. It compounds. It's easier. Do you know how easy it is to say one thing 100 different ways rather than trying to talk about 100 different topics and be an expert on it? Authority simplifies marketing. And I think so many people who haven't yet leaned into their authority, they get really unsure about how do I stand up and own authority? And why should I even do that? Because when you're clear about what you stand for, who you work with, what you solve, how you do it differently, if you're clear about those 4 things, you don't need to be everywhere saying everything, chasing every trend, doing the dances, doing the pointing, doing the lip syncing. You're just repeating your core ideas over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that repetition is strengthening your positioning, it's building trust, and it's strengthening your familiarity. And that builds trust because you're not, y'all, I've been around a hot minute, and I feel like when you are online or you're on Instagram or you're on Facebook, you see people, let's call them internet colleagues, quote unquote, internet colleagues. And they might be doing something, they might be a productivity coach. And then the next minute they're a Pinterest coach. And then the next minute they're a health coach. And then and it's like, okay. And so they've gone through all of these iterations, and it's like at some point you're going to start losing your authority because I'm not really sure who you are and what you do. And that's why if instead we just double down, go deeper into our core ideas, our positioning, and we allow that to be the thing that's seen, and we lean into our positioning around it, there's so much trust in that. Whereas I'm going to be distrustful of someone that is in one industry or providing one service 1 minute, and then they flip-flopped and they're over, in Outback Outback Queensland, suddenly they're doing something else. And I feel like because we are in the country, people have this like, oh, that didn't work, so I can flip here and no one's going to notice. But people are going to notice. People are going to notice if you're changing rapidly. So I just really want you to anchor back into what's the thing that I stand for? What do I solve? Who do I work with, and how do I do these things differently? Because if we're just doing that over and over and over again, as well as being really good at delivery and doing your service, that's kind of the magic formula that isn't even that magical. So instead of trying to figure out, and I feel like the internet has done us so dirty. And so instead of asking, how do I grow faster? How do I make more money? I want you to ask, what do I want to be known for? Because that's going to give you all of it tenfold. What do I want to be known for means you're going to have authority to increase your prices. What do I want to be known for also means growth. It also means reputation. It also means authority, which all of those also come with sustainability, profitability. People are going to start associating you with something specific, and that authority leads to sustainability. So what do you want to be known for? What do you want people to say before you even enter a room? I think it's really fun. Let's call it fun. It's fun. It's totally fun. I want you to look at the last 30 days of content that you have put out to the world. Is it clear? Is it repetitive? Is there clear leadership? Do you have clear cut through with ideas and opinions? Would someone know what you stand for? Or are you just being visible because you've got to post 3 times a week? I just want to challenge you on that. Are you clear and repetitive, showing signs of thought leadership, talking about your opinions? Would someone know what you stand for, who you work with, how you do things differently? Or are you just being visible? Are you just putting a post up because it's Thursday and you had to schedule something on Thursday? If that's a little bit confronting, I completely understand. I completely understand. And I think AI, which... Did y'all think I was going to get through this whole conversation about noise without mentioning AI? I think AI, everyone's sick of the AI drivel. The internet is just a content factory pumping out noise. AI written posts, AI generated hooks, AI opinions with no lived experience, AI crap. Is it this? If it's not this, it's this. Rhetorical questions. So I don't want you guys rejecting AI, but I just want you to think am I being really intentional about how I'm showing up and what I'm saying? Or do I sound like I'm just contributing to the noise? I want you to really start thinking about AI as infrastructure in your business, saving time, improving thinking, not writing for you, not creating your own opinions, because AI is a tool. It is a tool. It is a tool. It is a tool. It is not you. It can't replace your thoughts, your opinions, your beliefs, your authority. It's just a tool. And so start treating it like a tool if you're not already. Okay, so I really encourage you guys to go do that audit. Is it clear, repetitive? Is it leadership? Or are you just trying to be visible? So I would love it if you guys sent me a message on Instagram. Let me know what you've posted in the last 30 days. I think it's a really fun exercise. I also want to invite you guys to my upcoming masterclass, which is all about how to become a regional expert in the time for money trap. So that is on March 12th. It is a 60-minute workshop to show you the exact positioning shift that moves you from service provider to recognized authority and getting paid like it. So I would love to invite you guys, if you are interested in joining, send me a DM with the word masterclass and we'll get you all signed up.